Okay, let's dive in. Today, we're really digging into some common ideas about training, about exercise.
Yeah,
If you've ever felt like you just have to completely crush yourself, every single workout to get results, well, this deep dive might make you rethink that.
absolutely. We've been looking at some really fascinating material that makes a strong case for shifting focus, not just harder, but smarter.
Yeah.
And it really zeroes in on low-intensity training.
It really does. It makes you pause and reconsider what, effective exercise even looks like. So, our mission today,
Yeah,
let's pull out the key insights, maybe some surprising facts, to help you figure out how to build a fitness routine that actually works, sustainably for the long haul.
makes sense. Let's do it.
All right.
So the core idea in this material is low-intensity cardio training. But let's be clear, this isn't about just like slacking off.
Right. It's not permission to just coast. It's actually a deliberate strategy.
No.
It's about finding that pace, that sweet spot where you can actually hold a conversation pretty comfortably. You're moving, sure, heart rate's up a bit, but you're definitely not gasping for breath.
Yeah, miles away from that finish line feeling. And there's a simple test mentioned, often called the talk test.
The talk test, right?
Can you chat without struggling? Speak in full sentences. If the answer is yes, you're probably in the right zone.
Okay, so this comfortable pace, conversational, that's often called the aerobic zone, isn't it? That's a key word here. What does aerobic actually mean?
Well, aerobic just means with oxygen. So it's
Mhm.
exercise where your body's mainly using oxygen to create energy.
Ah,
Think steady stuff like a brisk walk, easy cycling, maybe a light jog. You're breathing, yeah, but it's controlled, not panicked.
so your body's efficiently using the air, the oxygen to keep you going, fuel with every breath, kind of. Okay, that makes sense. But why is staying in this, well, seemingly gentle zone so important? What's the science say?
This is where it gets really cool. The research we looked at points to some really crucial things happening, like down at the cellular level. It talks about these tiny structures inside our cells called,
Mitochondria, right, the powerhouses. I remember that from biology class.
exactly, they're like the little power plants in your cells, turning food into energy your body can actually use.
Little energy factories. Okay, but doesn't, all exercise use mitochondria? Why is this lower intensity aerobic stuff special for them?
That's a really good question. And what the material stresses is that regular training in this aerobic zone, this lower intensity zone, it doesn't just use the mitochondria.
Mm.
It actually triggers your body to build more of them.
More mitochondria.
Yeah. And importantly, it makes the ones you already have work better, more efficient at using oxygen to make energy. So you're basically upgrading your engine bigger and more fuel efficient.
Wow. So just by moving comfortably, consistently, you're literally boosting your energy production capacity. That kind of goes against that whole no pain, no gain thing, doesn't it?
It really does. And this ties into another really interesting concept mentioned, metabolic flexibility.
Metabolic flexibility. Okay, what's that?
So metabolic flexibility is basically how good your body is at switching between different fuel sources.
Hmm.
Burning carbs sometimes, burning fat other times, depending on what you're doing and what's available.
Oh, right. Like the analogy they use a hybrid car switching between gas and electric power.
Exactly like that.
Hmm.
A body that's metabolically flexible is just much better at managing its fuel, which, has big benefits for sustained energy, maybe weight management, definitely long-term health. And aerobic training is key to developing that flexibility.
Okay, so build more and better mitochondria, become more metabolically flexible.
Mm.
This is really about improving how your body handles energy overall, not just when you're working out. It's actually worth pausing here. Maybe try explaining mitochondria and metabolic flexibility in your own words. It really helps it stick.
It really does. And building on that, let's hit one of the big myths that the source material tackles. It connects right back to this fuel burning idea.
You mean the idea that low intensity training, well, doesn't really help you lose fat, that it's not effective for that.
That's the one. The myth goes, you burn fewer total calories maybe, or a lower percentage from fat right then compared to like an all-out sprint. So it's not good for fat loss.
Right, I've heard that.
But the real insight here, the kind of surprising bit the material points out, is that the power of low intensity is in the long game.
It's a long game. How so?
Well, while you do burn a higher percentage of fat during that low-intensity exercise, the real magic, the long-term benefit, is that consistent aerobic training actually improves your body's fundamental ability to tap into and burn fat as fuel.
So it's teaching your body to be a better fat burner overall.
Exactly. Even when you're resting or doing higher intensity stuff later, You're building a better fat-burning engine for everything, not just, emptying the tank in that one session.
Okay, that's a really important distinction. It's not just the immediate burn, it's about reprogramming your body's fuel preference over time. That's a big shift. And this leads us right into another crucial piece, recovery.
Oh, absolutely essential. Because if you just push hard, hard, hard all the time, you risk something called overtraining.
Overtraining sounds bad.
It is. It's basically exercising too much, too hard, too often without enough rest. And instead of getting fitter, you actually start breaking down. You get tired, performance drops, maybe you get sick more often.
Oh, your body's basically waving a white flag saying, I can't keep up.
Pretty much. And recovery is that vital time your body absolutely needs to repair tissues, adapt to the stress you put on it, and actually build back stronger. Training without recovery, it's just digging a hole.
And the material makes a really good point here that low-intensity cardio can actually be used as active recovery.
Exactly. Instead of just, crashing on the couch, a gentle walk or an easy spin on the bike gets blood flowing, helps clear out waste products, delivers nutrients, all without adding significant new stress. It actually helps you recover faster.
So it helps you bounce back from the harder sessions. It really makes you think about your own week, doesn't it? Are you building in enough rest? Could adding a slower session actually help?
Definitely food for thought.
Right.
And all this balance feeds into a smarter way to structure training overall. The concept is called periodization.
Periodization, okay.
Basically a strategy. You organize your training into different blocks or phases over time. Each phase has a different main focus.
So like one block might be focused on building that aerobic base we talked about.
Right. Then maybe another block focuses more on strength, perhaps another on speed or power.
So you're not trying to do everything all at once all year round. You're rotating the focus.
Exactly. It helps prevent burnout, lets you peak for specific goals if you have them, and ensures you're developing all aspects of fitness in a more intelligent way. And the conclusion from the source on this is pretty clear. Those slow, low-intensity sessions, they're not just part of the plan.
They're essential.
They're the essential base layer, the foundation.
You wouldn't build a house on shaky ground. Need that solid foundation first.
Shouldn't say it better myself. Build the engine first. Okay, so let's quickly bust those myths again, just to nail them down. Myth number 1, low-intensity training doesn't help fat loss.
False. We just covered that. It's maybe one of the best ways to train your body to be a better fat burner long term.
Okay, myth number 2, only beginners get benefits from this slow stuff.
Also, totally false. I mean, look at elite endurance athletes, marathon runners, Tour de France cyclists. Huge amounts of their training, hours and hours, are spent in exactly this low-intensity aerobic zone. It's crucial for them.
Absolutely. And the final one, myth number 3, a good workout has to leave you feeling totally wrecked.
Definitely false. That no pain, no gain idea can actually be really harmful. Yeah, some workouts need to be tough, but many really effective ones, especially these base-building aerobic sessions, should leave you feeling, pleasantly tired maybe, but energized, not wiped out. If you're constantly exhausted, you're probably pushing too hard too often, heading for that overtraining zone.
Yeah, this whole deep dive really pushes back against that idea that exercise has to be this brutal suffer fest all the time. It really brings the focus back to understanding the why, what's happening with those mitochondria, that metabolic flexibility.
The absolute necessity of recovery.
And the smarts behind periodization.
And the material wraps up with some really great reflection points, things for you listening to think about to help make this stick. Like, can you explain aerobic training now in your own words? How do mitochondria actually help you?
Yeah. And what about metabolic flexibility? What does that really mean to you?
What was one benefit of low-intensity training that maybe surprised you during this conversation?
And maybe the most important one, how could you apply just one thing you've learned today, maybe this week, to how you move or train?
Thinking through those questions is really how you take this from just interesting information to something you can actually use.
Absolutely.
Because the core message, really, from all this material is so clear. Consistency. Especially consistency with purpose, understanding why you're doing what you're doing, that beats just relentless, aimless intensity pretty much every time.
It's about building something resilient, efficient, and healthy for the long haul, not just chasing exhaustion today.
So maybe pick one of those questions to think about. Or perhaps try swapping just one high-intensity workout this week for a truly comfortable conversational pace walk or jog or cycle. Just see how it feels. And remember, you can always revisit this deep dive if you want a refresher.
Keep learning, keep moving, and yeah, train smarter.
That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.